sparks, turning into broken hearts, seen too many wounds, all inflicted by you. And what if it breaks? What if it shatters away, disintegrates? What if it breaks? Could you help me? Could you tell me the truth? Could you tell me what to do? 'Cause I'm feeling so lost without you. Could you help me? Could you tell me the truth? Could you tell me what to do? 'Cause I'm feeling so lost without you. Fly me to Mars. Ooh, I wanna know life on the moon. Wanna see the stars. Yeah, the freckle in your eyes, your boy is so filled with charm. Fly me to Mars. You've got so many scars. I'm wondering just who you are. Got so many fears.
Welcome to the Everything Sparkle Show. With us today we have Buddy Mendes. How are you?
I think I'm all right.
How does a farmer become the chairman of the Fresno County Supervisors?
Well, I'm not the first farmer that has been.
Well, you were telling me, you said politics is something a little bit different than how you grew up and what you're used to. So how did
Right.
you get into politics?
Well, I've known everybody that actually sat in my chair, District 4, for the last 40 years.
Being in
going-
the local and
Right. Vern Conrad was actually a good friend of my father-in-law,
Really?
so I knew him.
you know everybody.
Yeah.
You were just talking about how you know Alan, you know Vern.
Yeah, so I knew him. Tom Perch was just a one-termer. I actually knew him before he ran, and then when he was a supervisor, and then I knew Judy Case. She was four terms, but I knew her the whole time, all the way through. So, I served 22 years on a school board, Riverdale Unified. For 18 years, at the same time, I was also on the utility district. Riverdale's unincorporated, and they have a utility district that does water, sewer, fire. They have their own fire department and a lighting district, and I was on that board for 18 years.
Wow.
So I kind of had a lot of practice.
How did you get in that, though, in the first place? How did you get into all these boards?
Um,
Being from a dairy farm.
Yeah, well, actually on the school board, somebody from my kids' family, in other words, my kids' descendants, my wife's family or my family had been on the board because it was first a high school board and an elementary school, and then we unified 2 years after I got on the high school board, and then I was on the unified board. And I think there's been some descendant of my children that have been on the board since the 50s.
Wow.
And one of my sons is actually on the Unified District Board today. So there was only like a 3 or 4 year gap from when I became a supervisor before he ran to do that.
So you've been very active in the community for pretty much your
yeah.
whole life.
Yes, I was president of the Rodeo Association for a couple of years even, and always pretty active in the community.
So explain for our viewers that aren't quite sure what the Fresno County Board of Supervisors does. Explain, you guys control a lot of finances, decide where money is placed. There's a lot of
It's not easy to explain.
I know.
Okay.
To your best, buddy.
Okay. On the basic everyday stuff we do, we have an elected sheriff. Her budget's controlled by the County Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
Okay. We have an elected district attorney. Her budget is controlled by the County Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
We have a assessor who's assessor recorder. That's Paul Dictos. His budget is controlled by the County Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
Okay, we have an auditor controller. That's Oscar Garcia. His budget is controlled by the County Board of Supervisors. We have an elected elections chief, Brandy Orth. Her budget is controlled by the Board of Supervisors. Then we have general departments. The famous one we have right now is, because this coronavirus, is the public health. David Palmaville is he actually works under the CAO, and he's a department head. Dr. Vora works under him.
I like this. I'm actually following. This is
okay.
like the family tree, but I'm trying to
Okay.
follow as best I can. You should have had a board up here for you
And
to
then we
write.
have public works. Okay, like the cities take care of their own roads. Like the city of Fresno has their own public works department who does, they do little things different because they actually have because they have to serve water and sewer. They do that, plus they do the roads. So there's different people in those departments. Okay, there's a county public works director, because once you get out of the city limits, those roads, unless they're state roads, those are county roads. So we have to have road crews and that take care of those roads. We have to, in fact, we usually, our budget's around 60 to 70 million a year to take care of the roads, but in reality, we need about 700 million.
I bet.
Okay, because they're actually, the deferred maintenance is, if you throw the bridges and everything on there, it's about $1 billion.
Wow.
So, we've got that. But here's something that people forget is that, the public defender, you got a right to an attorney.
Right.
Okay, the public defender is a department, not an elected position, is a department that's ran by the county.
Okay.
Okay, so the county actually has to, in a lot of cases, has to represent both sides of the fence.
Wow, that's
Okay.
a lot of work.
Okay, now here's the biggest one of all, is actually the Department of Social Services. We have 7,200 employees. 4,200 of them work in the Department of Social Services. Okay, the great welfare state, meaning federal and state, all the programs are actually ran by the counties. We just run them for the federal government and the state. That's actually what we do, and that's our budget's about $3.5 billion. Only about 400 million goes to the normal stuff people think we do. The rest of it is all pass-through money that comes from the federal and state to run all the programs.
That's
that
a
they
lot
have.
of power still. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of decision making.
Yeah,
How many people are on the Fresno County
there's
board?
just 5.
There's just a 5. Okay.
And they're split up into districts. And the districts are recalculated and moved around just a little bit, tweaked every 10 years after a census. And there's roughly, each one of us has 200,000 constituents. Because there's
Wow.
1 million people in the county.
You're very
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah. And then we sit on a lot of other boards and commissions. I sit on 18 of them altogether. The biggest one is the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District.
Right.
I've served on that board for the last 5 years. Up until January, I was the chairman
For that
in
as-
19 and 18.
How can you be on all these boards? Doesn't at some point it collide into when you have to be at one event? And then are you kind of representing 2 different things at one event sometimes when you guys have big local functions and big political?
It never really gets that way, but in a way, how it works is we only have one master, and that's the county. We can only serve one master.
Okay.
So we represent the county on these other boards. And a lot of them are, 4 of them are groundwater stabilization boards.
And that's part of where you come into play.
Right.
What is going on with our water?
Well, that's I could do a whole show on
We
that.
could do a whole show
Yeah,
on the
and
water.
I don't want to get too deep into it, even though that's a bad pun, but I think things are kind of going okay. I mean, the groundwater stabilization agency that the city sits on is it's called the North Kings GSA. And that's one of the GSAs that actually has water because of the water that Fresno Irrigation District has. So they're probably in a little better shape than a few other ones.
Well, that's
But there's 7 of them just in the Kings. And the county sits on, I think, 5 different basins. So like you go out to Westlands, that's their own basin. There's another one called Pleasant Valley. I don't know if you know where the Pleasant Valley Prison is, where the city of Kalinga is.
That spans pretty far then.
Right. That's Pleasant Valley.
But so you have access when you're on the water board. You're controlling. You guys are making decisions from that.
No, those are different. They have
Okay.
Pleasant Valley has their own little deal, but Pleasant Valley is in my district because my district goes from Monterey County all the way to Orange Cove. Okay, so and then I don't have any of the city, but I have 9 of the 15 cities in the county.
So since you have an agriculture background, that's your thing, how do you feel water is being utilized? Because there's a grim future for water right now in the Central Valley, and I wondered what steps are being made to make sure that there's enough water sources.
Okay, part of it, a lot of that's out of our control because
I figured.
I'll use the Westland sits in their own basin, but Westlands can balance their water supply if they get about 70 to 75% of their surface watering. If they get that much, they can balance.
So right now,
use that as an example.
Are there any additional storage projects that are in line right now?
There's a few. There's a deal called the Blueprint for Water in California that a bunch of agencies have come together, and it's like a lot of little things. We have to actually using water to recharge the aquifer isn't considered a beneficial use, believe it or not, by the state. No surprise, right?
Right.
So they've got to pass some new laws, at least in the Assembly and Senate, to actually the governor needs to sign and say, yeah, it is a beneficial use.
So what are the priorities now? I'm sure what you set out for 2020 priorities have changed or shifted right now with the coronavirus, right?
Right. Well, this is kind of one of those deal that, okay, you have these priorities, but now we're fighting a war.
Right.
So you have to go
overnight.
Right. You have to go fight the war. So, we have to stay on top of it. One thing that people don't realize, the health department in the county, Dave Palmerville, actually has a lot of powers in this emergency, with Dr. Vora to, control things locally on, what people need to do, this. And a lot of it is the governor's already went and said, okay, we've got this long list of things, we have to do. So we basically have to follow that to a certain extent.
So at this point, there's not a lot of decision making on your part.
Right.
It's about making sure that everything's being followed accordingly.
Right, but there's things that we're working on. All emergency services, were done through the county. So like right now, we've been told that the federal government's going to give us 250 beds to set up, for a hospital. So we already have, the fairgrounds already lined up. Emergency services have been working in there to get it set up. But what extra equipment we first get, we're going to see if the hospitals can use it. Because obviously if you're sick, you want to be in a regular hospital, correct?
Right.
Right. That's kind of a no-brainer. So a community hospital is already working with emergency services, and they're going to take some of the first beds we get. Because we want to make sure that the hospital's footprint is bigger first before we set up an emergency hospital. Because they have all the staff there, everything's there to do these services. We got to get that done.
Do you feel that we're well equipped at this point?
I wouldn't use the word equipped. The plan that actually EMS has is they've been working on this plan for 15 years. And they actually, because you have to have certain plans to do certain things, so they had a pandemic plan. So they've been launching their pandemic plan, in the last few weeks. But they dusted it off back in December, and they've been ready to go. But there's things that they're working on that I really can't talk about.
I understand that.
That's going to help this situation.
What about the divisions right now? What's going on? Because California had a lot of divisions when everything kept happening. It was LA went, they went on lockdown. San Francisco went on lockdown. We went on lockdown different times. It was like Fresno. Okay, no, Clovis is going to follow suit. There was differences in different towns. Other states, as the whole state went at the same time. What is going on currently?
Okay, we actually, unless you have something more restrictive, you have to follow what the governor's plan was to go on this where we're at right now. So even though like Clovis doesn't have one and some of the other cities don't have one, they still have to follow the state guidelines. So in reality, the whole state's locked down.
So you feel like right now we're on the same page with that? Because
Yeah.
it did trickle down very delayed. I know LA was the weekend before because everything
Right.
started this, well, now we're a week past, but everything had started, I think was Wednesday night was when we were
Right.
officially.
Right, and really you have to, I think that was LA and San Francisco counties saying, hey, we have to do something, which they have the power to say, yeah, they can launch an emergency kind of shutdown.
Do you think that we were behind, or do you think we did
No.
everything accordingly? Just because
No.
we're a smaller city?
Right, we didn't have what they had at that time.
Right. We didn't have
Okay,
the
so we
cases.
were kind
Okay.
of waiting until we had more what they call community to community transference instead of these travel. Most of the cases, positive cases we had on are travel cases at the beginning.
Yeah,
Now we're
correct.
getting the community ones. And it's a complicated deal how they track that and how they do it because they normally don't do that. The health department does it, but they don't do it for the only diseases they do it for are communicable diseases.
Right.
I don't think I even have to tell you. I can see the look in your eyes. You get this.
And like we said, we were both traveling in the beginning of March
Right.
to DC. Were you on DC on business for the Board of Supervisors?
Yes, I was in D.C. on business.
Did you have to travel a lot?
Yes.
For the,
Well, I try not to because I usually only make 2 trips a year to Washington, D.C., one with the county and one with the airport.
what
yeah.
was this past one?
This
for?
was the county.
This was the county.
Yeah.
Did you, when you were there, did you grasp how serious it was? Because like we said, we missed the mark. I mean, the travel ban, all that started happening after that. Did you start to get a glimpse like, wow, this is really serious, and
No,
we probably were going to go on
Right,
lockdown?
and I think you can testify, it was there, it was in the news, but they weren't really scared about it yet. They kind of knew something was going on. Didn't you get that feeling? No,
Yeah,
I'm questioning you. You're the host.
Yes. No, I got that feeling too, but I mean, I
Yeah.
still remember like it was out there and I was a little bit nervous about being on the plane and everything. And then
Yeah.
right when I came back, it was like, boom, everything started trickling where they
And I
stopped.
think I
it.
got maybe back a few days earlier. My problem is I always get, and I think I told you because we wanted to do this interview earlier in the week, I've got a kind of an asthma condition that is fine, doesn't bother me.
Until you travel.
I go to 3 doctors. One of them's Dr. Arminian, and it's usually very well. But when I travel like this, then it gets irritated about 4 or 5 days later. So I even went to him because I started getting a cough and all that stuff. I went to him and he goes, "Okay, it's just you don't have a fever, you don't have this, you don't have that. It's just your asthma." So we'll do the regular deal we do for that when you get when it becomes more, dominant like it did right now.
And did you get nervous because you start going where coughing, everyone's looking at you like you're the virus
Oh,
that they
yeah.
say. I mean, so that's why I even said let's wait a few days so
You're
that
right.
you didn't feel uncomfortable.
Mr. Contagious.
I know that's a big concern right now. I'm afraid of getting the common cold and everybody
Right.
thinking I have something.
Well, I'm really good about, I've found a lot of people don't even take the regular flu shot that's out there. Did you
Right.
take yours this year? The
Next
answer is
question.
no.
I cannot tell a lie.
I always do, and I've had some of my own doctors, usually Dr. Vora has just been with us this year, but previous, health people in the county always said, you got to get a flu shot,
Right.
and always get one. So
right now, what are we looking for to help with the coronavirus relief? Are we going to lift up property taxes, late payments, and penalties? Are they going to be reduced?
No,
Do you have
we're
control
not.
over that?
No, we're not going to do anything with that. We'll work with people going forward that don't pay on April 10th. The auditor controller is going to work with them And if people have hardships, we'll work with people that have hardships. But if you owe property tax, get it paid. One of the things that people don't realize, and the auditor controller's done a good job of trying to explain it, all the money we collect, we only keep 12%. Okay? The schools get by far the most of that money. In fact, all the school bonds, if you look at a property tax statement, depending on what school district you live in, you have these different charges for the bonds in that district. So there might be 50 different tax statements in the county. Depends where you live, what school district you're in, what special districts you're in. And schools and special districts get their money through the property tax levy. So to postpone it would be a death sentence to schools and special districts. They would immediately not cash flow because they would not get this money. They usually get the money by July, and the bond payments are due in August.
Right. What about these small businesses that are paying rent? And because I heard that they're going to offer some relief, that no one can get evicted, that electricity can't be shut off. But then the question is, do they still owe that later on? So if 2 months, if we're on lockdown for 3 months.
Right. I think
are we
right
still
now
responsible?
what the governor laid out today is that they still owe it.
We still owe, yeah.
Right.
And but just nothing will get shut off for eviction. But
right.
Later on, it's still going to be.
Right. And then your utilities, other than the cities, like the city has their, water and sewer, but your power and gas, that's the PUC who has to say yay or nay to the collecting agencies, whatever power company or gas company you get gas from.
This is going to get very sick because many businesses shut down.
Right.
And then a lot of people are out of work. What's your advice for them, for these people that are kind of left? Well,
there's a Small Business Administration. They need to get a hold of them. They have a hotline, and there's a lot of programs that they can get on. And even this federal stimulus actually, put money behind that. So basically, when somebody calls us, we give them the Small Business Administration phone numbers.
And then we should post that momentarily. For that. What do you foresee going forward with everything?
Well, it's kind of like this economy right now is got one grave in one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. So, it's not. We're going to go through some tough times coming up because the state has done some pretty strange things in the last few days. One of them is, I don't know if you know not the Franchise Tax Board, but the Board of Equalization collects bad tax debt.
Right.
Okay. They've actually told their people to quit collecting bad tax debts that they have agreements with people to pay. Now, really, they shouldn't have done that. What they should have done was say, hey, work with everybody. If somebody just got laid off, well, let's try to work with them. And what they did is they just told their staff quit collecting money. Now, that's great, but the thing is the state works with real money. They're not the federal government. The federal government works with monopoly money. Okay, they print the money. They can hocus pocus money. Of course, our descendants will have to pay for that someday, and even us if we live long enough. So the state works on real money. The counties and cities, special districts, all work with real money. Once you cut that money off, they have to lay people off and quit doing services because there's no money.
Right.
The system's not set up.
So what's the problem now? So like I said, your goals were different in the beginning of 2020. Are they kind of just put on hold when you guys get together? Are you still talking about the water resources?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you still talking about all these things? Or is it just strictly, we have a crisis?
Right. You still do. I mean, you still have to run, the government's a process. So you still have to keep the processes going.
How has it affected your meetings? Are you guys all Skyping now? Because
no, well, it's the interesting thing. About a week ago Thursday, the Air Board met, and we met in what was called a closed meeting. Okay, a closed meeting is nobody from the outside can come in. So there was just a few staff members. Some of the board members were not there. The board meets in 3 locations at once. So we have board members meeting come to the Modesto office, Bakersfield office, and the central office here in Fresno. So we're it's kind of a video conference meeting to start with. Okay, so we're not all in the same location. But we had 4 members not even come in, so they phoned in, and we had to set up a deal for them to ask questions on the phone. So the tech got people that run the boards for especially the chairman, they could say supervisor so-and-so from another area, or a city councilman from another area is on the board who didn't show up in either Modesto or Bakersfield or Fresno wanted to talk. So you would see it on the board that they wanted to talk. So you would call for them to talk when their time came up.
Isn't this interesting? A whole new way of that you never anticipated.
Right. And then for public comment, then the public could email into the clerk to the board to make comments. And we actually had no comments, which was kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Now our board, Sal wasn't there, so he called in, Sal Quintero.
Okay.
And then the meeting was open, but we blocked off seats. So I think there was pictures of X's on seats. So we had a lot less people there, and they were spread out. So people could still come and give a public comment. And on all public boards, you can email a comment on a specific item or a general comment item, and it can be distributed to the board, and it becomes part of the public record. You can do that anyway.
What are the lasting effects that you think this is going to have down the road till the end of the year with our crisis we're facing?
We're going to go from a health crisis to a money crisis.
That's what I think we're all afraid of right now.
The state government, had this so-called big reserve. Well, that's going to get wiped out. And everything's going to change. It's going to be a new world. And that's going to hit everybody probably in June, July, August. It's just they're going to start being cash short.
Right. And then do you really realistically see the schools resuming anytime by the April 18th? I know that the date keeps changing, and I know
I think
possible.
If they don't resume by, I'm guessing maybe May 10th to the 15th, right around that time, and they maybe go into July. I don't see them starting back up until September.
And how is that going to affect, you said the taxes that go to the school?
Okay, what the governor did, I've heard, is before schools were actually paid on who sits in the seat. I don't know if you know that or not. So a school district has to give attendance every day, and that's what they're paid on. Back from the,
Okay.
That's because really it's, a lot of this is kind of like a crazy organized crime racket scheme. We collect this money, the general fund money for the schools, but in reality, it gets passed through the state and back to them.
So how is that working with everybody doing their school at home? Okay. We don't have an attendance.
So what they said was, no, we're just going to take your average attendance, and that's what your ADA is going to be paid on.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They're working with them.
Wow. Isn't this fascinating how this is a whole new ball game you never anticipated with all.
See, one of the things that, I don't know if I'm just saying, is how I've progressed in life. I'm fascinated with how things work. And in government, it's all about different processes. And all these deals have different processes. Like, we just talked about attendance in schools, what schools actually get in their ADA. And that was always, in the last few years, has always been counted on, students in the seat. All their lunch money, whether it come from federal or state, is predicated on how many lunches they put out, on how many students come to school.
Wow.
So all that has had to change.
So interesting. Buddy, we're going to have you back in 3 months and see how everything has, what kind of a situation we're in.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Thank you so much for coming in, buddy, and taking time out of
No, it
your
was my pleasure.
schedule on the 18 board.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Clovis Community College may be free for you to attend. Call 325-5239 or visit cloviscollege.edu for details. We offer general education classes for transfer and short-term training programs.
When you need to get fit, contact Gary Torres, IFBB Pro, specializing in weight loss, body transformations, and contest prep. Email Gary Torres 5336@yahoo.com.
Hey, I'm Chris DeVold. Tune in every Friday night on CentralValleyTalk.com when I bring you Sex, Drugs, Chris DeVold, where I'll give you 3 guesses on what we talk about. And I also vow to bring you 1 live local music act a week. So tune in every week because you never know what kind of music you're going to hear right here on CentralValleyTalk.com.
The Space Colony Journals are an epic tale of a family's struggle to survive. Meet the courageous women and dangerous men who dare to carve a home on the alien world of Vensug. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon and Gale Daly's FineArt.com.
You enter this door with expired tags. Beyond is another dimension, a dimension of regulations, a dimension of long waits. You have reached the registration zone. What looks like an ordinary shop is actually Mitchell Smog, located in the heart of the Tower District, a few minutes from the DMV. Mitchell Smog offers your vehicle a STAR-certified smog inspection. So remember Mitchell Smog when you need to pass through the registration zone.
Contact Sarah Hernandez of June and Matte Photography to schedule your portrait, engagement, wedding, or next family photo session. But that's not all. Sarah is also your personal brandographer, helping you ditch the stock photos and get images that sell. Call 559-412-3721. Visit juneandmattephoto.com and follow Sarah on Instagram and Facebook.
Give your child the tools to succeed. The Yergubian Academic Center offers one-on-one and group educational lessons by appointment. Over 90% of our students show significant improvement in their academics in just 3 months. Students of the Yergubian Academic Center have gone on to UCLA, UC San Diego, Yale, Stanford, and many more prestigious universities. Schedule a tutoring session today. Call 559-437-3973.
Central Valley Talk.
Ghost Golf is Fresno's most spectacular family entertainment center. It's frightening how much fun you'll have on our 18-hole indoor haunted graveyard course. Skeletons welcome you, but watch out. All sorts of creatures may come to life. Ghost Golf is perfect for scary good parties, so book yours today. You'll get free plays at the Mummy Shooting Gallery, arcades, and air hockey. Check out our party and weekday specials online and like us on Facebook. Come play at family-friendly Ghost Golf. Yeah! Good times will haunt you.
For all your real estate needs, call Julia Tadich with Clovis First, 559-323-2213, or visit clovisfirst.com. That's CLOVIS, the numeral 1, ST.com. Whether you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, get a loan, or whatever the case may be, call Julia Tadich.
The Saga of Bridget and Amanda by Carol Love Forbes brings to life the struggles of historical women in early America. Find the Saga of Bridget and Amanda on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and order your copy today.
At Laulea Travels, we strive to make your vacation experience as relaxing as possible. From the time you start dreaming about it to the time you're sharing your vacation photos with your friends and coworkers. Our vow is to treat your vacation as if it were our own. If personal service, attention to detail, and years of travel experience are important to you, then let Laulea Travels plan your next dream vacation. Visit lauleatravels.com
or call 559-360-1933.
A dynamic litigator, in-tune listener, and forward thinker with almost a decade of experience, Nasser Nekumanish is a skilled attorney servicing clients throughout the Central Valley. When you need a lawyer, call 559-441-0114 and ask for Nasser Nekumanish.
Linda Lee Kane is an author of fantasies, thrillers, contemporary fiction, and children's books. Order a book by Linda Lee Kane on Amazon or on lindaleekane.com.
So lost without you, fly me to Mars. Ooh, I wanna know life on the moon, wanna see the stars.
Welcome back to tell us a little bit about Rise Inc. It's a newer company, you said.
Yes, it is. It's my brother is the actual founder, so he started it last year, but because he was so busy with work and everything, he couldn't really get everything going, and then I was busy last year too, so this year we kind of got together and I said, let's get this thing going on, because the concept, I love the concept. It was such a refreshing idea that I feel was needed in the in the valley here.
We'll explain the concept.
Well, we have so many ideas. I mean, there's so many things that we could do and we want to do, but you know, everything is a progression. So we kind of want to start. With just a few. Is that better? So RISE stands for Recreation, Impact, Sports Ethics, and our mission is to teach the people, especially the youth, how we can all rise beyond our circumstances by teaching them creative recreational activities, making an impact on self-esteem, teaching teamwork through sports, and guiding them through with self-awareness to instill ethics. So basically, with all the stuff that's happening in the world and schools and stuff like that, there's not very many performing arts. It's not. We want to provide a platform for the youth to kind of, I guess, express themselves, grow into areas, whatever it may be.
How are you guys doing that? What's the platform?
Well, through our nonprofit, we just leased our building, so we plan to use
Where
that.
are you guys located at?
Right there on Ashton and Blackstone. So
Okay.
we are the building right behind the grocery outlet, right there. So
And there's a dance academy around there, right? For that they do like the underprivileged dance. I think in that area.
There is one in the area. It's kind of south of us more. I know I kind of have an
Well,
idea.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah.
What you're doing, and I could see people from over there trickling in. and
Yeah,
being interested.
yeah. I mean, we actually have a dance program that we're actually implementing too. So we have right now our programs before all this craziness started.
I know.
And shut everything down.
That's why I like that you're here to spread some positivity to us.
Yeah. So we actually, a good friend of mine, he teaches karate there. So we have a karate class for the youth and adults, of course. We have a K-pop instructor, so he's kind of teaching them how to dance and stuff like that. We'll incorporate other styles of dance. We're working with a dance studio right now too. We have a Hmong dance who's gonna kind of teach them the more cultural dances and stuff like that. We're getting that going. We also have a music program that we want to launch and take off, but it was in the works. It was in the plannings, but you know, with all of this shutdown, it couldn't really go. So we got all the guitars and all the PA systems.
Do you have anything you're offering online right now?
Well, as of right now, the programs for, like, you mean like pricing as far as the
No, online, because of the shutdown, people can't actually go and use the facility and do the dance or do the music.
Yeah.
Do you have anything online that people can follow?
Yes.
Right
so
now?
the only program that we were actually to launch before all of this shutdown happened was the karate program. So that is a virtual class right now. So the ones that are doing the karate classes, we do have a virtual classroom. We use Zoom and stuff like that, so where they can log in and kind of follow along with us. The music class, we're probably going to go that way too. We were hoping it would be lifted by the 31st, but it got extended. So unfortunately, we're probably going to have to go that way. and teach it virtually.
And you were having an event that was coming up
Yes.
too, but I'm really hoping that you actually have that event still later down the road.
I hope so too.
Because I knew you got a very positive response. So
Yes.
what was the event? It was to raise money?
Well, no. I mean, part of it was to help us pay for the lease, right, for the building, because we got to keep the lights on and all of that, right? But we kept it low because we understand the vendors that we were attracting, they need venues to kind of do what they got to do, right? So I was talking to a lot of them, and they're like, well, we only have like 3 or 4, maybe 5 opportunities to really kind of make their money.
Right.
And so we were planning to do a food market, a night market, on Friday nights. Because, I mean, what is there really to do in Fresno on a Friday night, right? So we wanted the community to come together as one. We would have had amazing food. I mean, we had a great lineup of awesome yummies and food.
Don't even tell me. I'm getting all...
We
have to have this again,
yes,
right?
Yes, waffle ice cream, cinnamon roll, all the good stuff, right? And we had live entertainers signing up, ready to do it, face painting, balloon guys.
We're still going to have it.
We're still going to have it. As soon as this is lifted, we are ready to go. Vendors are on standby, so they all know. And so, yeah, it's just an event to kind of let the community know that we're out there, to get out there.
I love that.
Yeah, we would have had raffles and prizes to give away.
And
stuff
what
like
people
that.
are eligible to be part of Rise Inc.? Like what kids watching out there, and what's the age range to be eligible to participate in this?
Well, we have multiple programs. So, for instance, the karate, as long as they're 6 years, 5 or 6 and older, they can participate in that.
Is 18 the cutoff?
No, 18 is not the cutoff. I mean, we have adults. I take the karate class myself.
Oh, this is exciting.
I'm learning.
But is it supposed to be for people that are a little bit underprivileged or don't have the funds to go? Because it is a nonprofit. So how...
Yeah.
I mean, could I go and take a karate class, or do I just
course.
pay for it?
Yeah,
and
of
that
course.
goes to it.
Yeah, of course. Because most of the for-profit teachers out there that are having these programs that go out there. I mean, there's karate, there's martial arts teachers out there.
Nice.
There's music programs out there. But I mean, when I take my kids to Taekwondo, it's like $99 a month, which is fine. But if I got 4 kids, that's $400
that's
a month.
very expensive. So you guys offer a discount?
Yes. So for our karate program, it's only $30 a month.
I could do that.
Yeah. Well, for adults, it's $40. For the kids, it's $30.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so we want to keep it low because we want people to get out of their homes. We want the youth to kind of get off of social media, get off of the video games,
right?
Interact with an actual human being, right? Make friends, and learn some self-discipline, learn some skills.
I like that.
Whether it's through music, we have a huge sports program that we're trying to launch. We're trying to collaborate with the city of Fresno. And
so
stuff
music, sports, dance. Mm-hmm. What sport? All sports, like soccer, basketball, or like indoor sports.
Well, all sports. We're trying to collaborate. I'm trying to get people. And if you guys are out there listening, and if you guys are good at something,
you gotta talk to Buddy too.
Yeah, come on out. Come talk to us. We're like I said, we're right there on Ashland and Blackstone, right beside the grocery outlet, right behind it. So come out. I got a basketball guy. He used to play pro ball. He's out in Lemoore. He used to throw tournaments and stuff like that. So we're asking him to come out and kind of help us get everything launched. But yeah, I mean, pretty much anything and everything. We're gonna have like seasons, kind of, right?
Nice.
So not it's not gonna be everything at once because we don't have the manpower. I would love to have that.
I was gonna say, are you looking for instructors or
yes, we are.
coaches?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
that's
we are.
great. Maybe I can help you out with that and find some people. So yeah, if you're listening and you wanna, is it all volunteer based? They volunteer their time?
Yeah, for now. We want to get to the point where it's big enough. If it gets big enough, and we generate enough sponsorships and
I do know
revenue.
people looking for stuff like that, so I'll pass them your way.
Yeah.
This is so great. There is something positive out of all of this. Do you have a lot of people signed up already, or you're always looking for new people?
Yeah, we already have a lot of people signed up, but we're always looking for
a few more.
We're always looking for a few people because I know that there's going to be seasons for people too. There's going to be times where this instructor may be too busy with life. Maybe they got a kid, they just got a newborn. Stuff happens, life happens. So we always want to have somebody as a backup because when that happens, as adults, when life takes over, and let's say my only basketball coach leaves for family or whatever, the kids are gonna kind of lose out because there's no one there to take over, right? So we don't want the kids to lose out. We want them to be consistent. We want the programs to be consistent and stable so that people so the kids always have a venue out. One of the other programs that we have, which is going to be facilitated by my other company called Inspired Empowerment Group. So with that, we want to really, it's going to be like a classroom setting inside our building. And it's going to be like workshop, where we're going to say, have the kids come in and say, okay, hey, what do you really want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a doctor. Great. Okay, well, here's a doctor. This is your salary. Okay, so now, with Monopoly money, of course, now you go buy a house. Now you buy a car. These are your bills. Okay, so that they realize, oh, wow, I'm making $5,000 a month as a doctor or a residential doctor starting off, and I have all these bills, and now at the end of the month, I only have this much left. And so it teaches them how to budget at an early age so that they recognize.
That's important.
Yeah, it is. Because if we don't teach them that, then as they grow up, everything they make, they're going to spend, and they're going to have bad habits. Yeah. So besides that, we also want to teach them how money works, taxes, credit scores, all the important adult stuff. that they're not
budgeting.
Really, that they're not going to really learn in school. As much as we will teach them. And then also, we want to teach them leadership development skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, being proactive and stuff like that, so that they can self-develop, so that when they do get there. My biggest purpose for that is, so I know a lot of kids, 17, 18, right, who are like, okay, well, I'm applying for all these jobs. I'm applying at Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King. Nobody's calling me back. So if you don't know somebody who works there already, you don't got the hookup, you probably won't get hired, right? Because, what do you have to put on your resume at 18 years old? Maybe I babysat my little sister a couple of weekends while my mom and dad went out on date nights. So we want them to say, okay, they came through our class, they took their leadership development, they took their finance workshops. So now, depending on what they want to do, so let's say you come to my class and you want to be a doctor. Great, we have doctors, we have dentists, we have people in our network where you can now go intern at to see if you really want to do that as a career. Maybe you want to be into law. We have lawyers with their own law firms. You want to be in business. We have business owners.
That's a lot. You guys are tackling on a lot.
We do. Like I said, we have a lot of big plans. So that way, even when they go apply at McDonald's, they know how to write their resume. They have interview skills. Not only that, but they have stuff that they can actually put on there. Yes, I volunteered, or I worked for this doctor, this lawyer, this businessman. And then they can get letters of recommendation from those professionals, so that when they're at that hiring interview table, they have real tangible skills that they can offer the employer.
Thank you so much, Stu. That was a lot. We're going to follow you in everything that you're doing on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Where's the information that we can actually look for your stuff?
Well, for right now, it's on Facebook.
It's all Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, Facebook at rise.inc. No, Rise
and
Inc.
Instagram,
tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah, Instagram. We have an Instagram, but I don't know the actual.
Okay, the Facebook it is. Thank you so much, Stu. I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
If your home floods, who will you call? When your house springs a leak, it's time to call Clean Master Emergency Flood Service at 559-213-9430. Clean Master will be there in 60 minutes to start fixing your home. And Clean Master bills your insurance directly, saving you the hassle because you've got enough to worry about. Clean Master also offers carpet and upholstery cleaning, carpet repair, pet odor removal, and more. Remember, Clean Master Emergency Flood Service, 559-213-9430, and visit cleanmasterflood.com.
Pour yourself a glass of Crybaby wine, available at the market and Sam's Italian Deli. And remember to ask for Crybaby wine at your favorite restaurant.
Forget about the higher good of food, right? You're growing a product that people enjoy really all over the world. I mean, how does that make you feel?
I think about that all the time. I think about the families sitting around a table, enjoying a meal. I just see that what we do brings families together.
I mean, we're blessed.
blessed. We're in paradise for food.
The Kern family of the Kern Family Farm invites you to eat delicious, nutritious, organic produce available at the Gnarly Carrot, located at 32954 Road 222 in Northport, California. The Gnarly Carrot is a local, natural, seasonally changing market offering a wide range of products from local Central Valley vendors. Get your caffeine fix, grab a smoothie, and support small businesses. Learn more at kernfamilyfarm.com and visit the Gnarly Carrot today. Doctor in Sukasa allows you to connect with your doctor when you need a quick treatment. Avoid a trip to a medical clinic or emergency room and connect by video with your doctor from your home, work, or anywhere. Just go to drinsukasa.com on your phone, tablet, or computer. Dr. in Sukasa provides quality care that is convenient, bilingual, and affordable, so you are never left without access to health care. Visit drinsukasa.com today.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
What if it breaks? What if it shatters away, disintegrates? What if it breaks? Seen too many sparks turning into broken hearts.
Welcome back to the Everything Sparkle Show. With us, we have Amanda. And Amanda, you have one of the most incredible stories I've ever heard. Tell us what happened 7 years ago to the day.
Well, it all started when I was 14, though. So I got diagnosed with endometriosis, and I had no idea what that even meant. Like, it was the word, I can barely pronounce it now.
It was a newer disease in the first place, right?
Yeah, it's not really well known by, even doctors don't really know, like, how you get it, like, what, basically anything, really. I've been all over, and a lot of doctors still don't know how to help it, or the surgeries, they still don't know, like, exactly what to do. But 7 years ago on this day, I had to have a full-on hysterectomy due to the endometriosis just growing all over my ovaries, uterus, everything. And it never stopped. Like, I had probably 13 to 14 surgeries prior to that, and now I'm at 23 surgeries because of it. So it's definitely something that, like, more women, I think, need to talk about too.
What happened 7 years ago?
The full hysterectomy.
That was the full. And how old were you?
23 years old.
How did your parents feel about that?
My mom was heartbroken because I'm, like, the only daughter, so I have two older brothers. So it's kind of like I was the baby girl and wanted to give my mom, her grandchildren and stuff. So it was really hard for her. It was hard for me to watch. My dad's kind of more quiet, but it was a hard time for both of them. For sure. It's different.
So now that you know about it, you want to help other people dealing with this. And have you met other people close to your... I've never met anybody that had this many surgeries and this many problems or complications.
Yeah, it's... I haven't met anyone close to me that's had that many surgeries, but I do have close friends that have had it, and one of my friends also had to have a hysterectomy. I don't know if hers was by choice or if they medically had to. I can't remember, but... Either way, it's not a fun thing to, like, have to decide, if you have to do it or not. But more and more, there's women starting to talk about it, and, like, girls my age. You normally don't get it, though, till you're, like, 20-something, and mine was 13,
so you're diagnosed. A rare case.
Yeah. Even doctors, they're just, in, like, my medical, it's like a stack, like, this huge. I'm like, here you go, like, good luck.
So explain what you were explaining to me about it growing, and that's why you had to keep having the surgeries.
Yeah, because they said at first, because they really didn't know, they said at first, like, it would stop after surgeries, and then they put me at 14 years old in full-on menopause with the Lupron shot. So I was in full-blown menopause for 6 months at 14 years old. So my brothers, my dad, like, my mom, like, wanted to run out of the house, basically, because I was crazy.
Being a teenager, one, and then I've never even heard of such a thing. So you already kind of knew that you were going to have children.
Yeah, because at 19 years old, I actually got diagnosed with cervical cancer. And it was due to all the surgeries and the endometriosis and all of that. So once that kind of happened, I kind of
Did you go through radiation?
No, it was surgeries for that, too. So they just had to go in and, like, cut it out. So for both endometriosis and the cervical, it's not chemotherapy, radiation. It's just straight surgery.
So when you say it was growing inside you, explain that.
So it grows like all over. It's
so what is it? Is it like a tumor? What do you mean it grows? What is endometriosis?
It's a disease, but it's like it's even, I can barely still explain it. It's tissues that grow on the outside of your ovaries and everything, but it's not supposed to be there. Like
it's on the outside of the ovary, and then it's growing upwards.
Yeah. So now that I don't have ovaries or uterus or anything, mine's starting to grow on other things. So it's just, and then
so there's no way to take it out.
They do, but it just
because they took out your ovaries. So why is it still there?
And I haven't been on estrogen since my hysterectomy, so I'm like a whole other. Because I can't be on estrogen because they say that makes it grow more, but they don't really know. But I know that when I started taking estrogen, like right after the surgery I tried, and I was in the worst pain ever.
What was the point of taking estrogen? Why did they want you to do that?
Just because I'm not producing anything right now because I'm in the full, like I don't have ovaries, uterus, or cervix, so I need the estrogen to kind of help with a woman, just being a woman, but I can't take it, so. There's days where it's a little emotional or crazy, or then I'm normal, or it's like it's a roller coaster. But I've gotten more used to it. But there's women out there need to speak up more, and doctors, there's no cure for it.
And it's Endometriosis Awareness Month, right?
Yes, it is.
So you're gonna have a big party. Tell us that, and I really hope we can do this sometime.
Yes.
Tell us about the big party.
I'm supposed to do a fundraiser
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, yes. We're going to do beer yoga at the Tower Theater. We're going to have a Tower yoga instructor come over and help out with that. We're going to have games out in the parking lot at Sequoia Brewing Company in Tower. Just a whole lot. And all the donations and everything was going to go to the Endometriosis Foundation of America. So all the proceeds, everything was going towards that to help out just research and find a cure and all of that. So, yeah. But once all this Corona stuff is done, we will have that, and we'll cheers with Corona.
We will, and we're educating people right now because I mean I didn't know. I heard about it. I have friends that have it. I've never heard of anything to this extent in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Especially doctors be like, "You'll be fine after the hysterectomy. Like it won't come back." And I've had probably 8 now surgeries. Like my last one was in Atlanta, Georgia. They sent me to see a specialist there. I've been to UCSF, Stanford, City of Hope, and Pasadena. And they still, they just can't figure out why it keeps going.
What's the next surgery that you're scheduled to have? Or that you're supposed to have if it got delayed? Or you said you're on your 24th surgery?
I get back in pain, and it's literally until I cannot take the pain anymore. And then I have to get a surgery because once it grows. So normally I last like 6 months after a surgery, and then I have to go back in for another one because the pain is just so bad.
So what's the one that's coming up?
I'll probably go back to Georgia for it because I really like the
What are they
going
to do to
but
you?
They'll just take out what they can find again, the endometriosis. Yeah, wow. It's crazy. But there's no cure, so.
And there's no alternative? I mean, what does happen if you get more surgeries? Because you've already said you had the cervical cancer because of all the surgeries. So what's going to happen after this?
Just hopefully I make it through the surgeries. Hopefully I wake up. Because there's been times when my heart has stopped during the surgery just because of so many surgeries, and my body is just, I get cut open or all the MRIs.
Did you die? Your heart stopped?
It stopped, yeah. For like almost 2-3 minutes.
Did you have an experience like
no.
that? You didn't know you woke up and they're like you died and you're like, really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was crazy. But so it's scary. I definitely I freak out before surgeries. But my parents go to every single one.
What do they say is what are the risks besides the normal surgery? What are the risks for this surgery?
It's just mainly your heart's not making it through it, or
because it's just going through so much.
Yeah.
Every time you have.
Yeah, because they're just cutting more out. And they want to take my spleen because it's enlarged so much. Probably due to all of this.
So it might be the next surgery is the spleen.
Yeah, might be. Yeah, and they'll just take out any endometriosis they can find. Help with scar tissue because I have a lot of that.
Oh, do you need a spleen?
I know.
I wish they had taken that out and left everything else in. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So yeah, should be interesting.
Wow. So these specialists, every time you come to them, I don't know what to do for you, have the surgery. What do they think your lifespan is? What are they predicting for you?
They don't. They say it doesn't necessarily kill you, but no one's had this many. Some women probably have had this many surgeries, but because my surgeries are more, they're It really isn't a life. It's just make it through surgery, you don't. So it's just you never know.
Is there a support group that women can join?
I'm sure there is. I haven't necessarily. I mean, I have had to go
I think you
through
should
therapy
start
and stuff
one.
for this, but that's actually a good idea. Because I know there's women, like, there's so many. Like, I posted on my Instagram, actually, about a little bit about my story. And I had so many DMs of girls, like, I didn't know you had that. Like, I just got it. Like, I just got diagnosed, or I've had it for years. Like, but I've had a kid, and, like, but it was hard to even have the baby. So.
Well, I heard, like, fibromyalgia. I've heard people have had experience where they get that prognosis because doctors don't know what else is wrong with them.
Yeah.
So some people, have you heard of people getting misdiagnosed from that?
Yeah. I don't think as much lately, just because it's a little bit more out there now. But at first, like I got misdiagnosed when I was younger. But
what were other things they thought before they told you it's endometriosis?
Well, they thought it was my appendix, but that had gotten taken out when I was 10 years old.
Is there anything left? I guess just the spleen. We're taking that out too.
Yeah,
so
I'll just, if anyone wants, a kidney, spleen, I got you.
Oh my.
But yeah, so they thought it was that. I was like, I don't have that.
So they took that out first, the appendix?
It moved around my whole entire body, and in the doctor's hand, it burst in his hand as he took it out. So
Your
it was
appendix?
like seconds away from bursting inside of my back.
It burst in his hand.
Yeah. So yeah, my body's been through quite a bit.
You need a support group, and you need to write a book. I've never heard of any. I mean, this is just.
Yeah, it's been a lot, but it's made me pretty tough, so that's a good thing about it. But
are people even using you as a medical mystery? Do people ever have you? Because I mean, I think that you're almost like experimental or all the surgeries.
Yeah.
I mean, do people ever like?
UCSF, I know they wanted to. They put me in the books, I think there. When I was so young, I didn't really understand like what they're even talking about. But now, I kind of wanted to write a book. It's kind of hard though to get it all out there. So. All of you help me, maybe.
I mean, we talked about this. Yeah. This is an amazing story. Everyone always says, "Oh, my life's so interesting," and in the back of my head, I'm like, "Okay, everyone says that." This is just wow, what a journey. I mean, how was this being a teenager and just dating?
Oh, it was hard because I mean, guys didn't really know, but eventually they started to because I would be in and out. Like I've known a hospital bed like more than my own, so. Dating is definitely hard to, especially now not being able to have kids and just let the guys know that, or hey, I might be a little crazy sometimes. I mean, every girl or guy is, I guess, crazy, but mine's a little more because of it. So it definitely gets hard. And when I was younger, I had no idea what was going on. And girls would ask me for because I wouldn't have periods or anything. I've had two my whole life because of it. So that was weird. I'm like, I don't have anything for you. I'm sorry. And they would find that weird. So I'm like, ooh.
But just like the surgeries and the recovery, I mean, did it put you behind in school? Were you able to go to college? Did you get to do things you wanted to do? Or was it just you were in the hospital more than you were in bed? I mean, did you get to have a life?
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, because I try to do stuff and and then I have to go lay down or something like that. So definitely set me back. School I missed quite a bit. I mean, surgeries I'd be out for a month, maybe two, depending how serious the surgery was and stuff, or how long I was under for, stuff like that. Recovery now for me is a little bit better. It kind of just popped back up because I'm so used to it. But at first, recovery was pretty hard, and getting out of school and stuff like that.
What's your therapy that you do? What's something that, whenever you have a tough time or a tough day, what's your coping mechanism?
I like to draw. I draw a lot. That's a lot. That's a big thing for me. I used to garden, not as much now, but drawing's a huge one.
I love that.
Yeah, so that helps. Kind of just take my mind off of it.
And you're creative. I love your hair. Like I said, I'm always so fascinated by it because the colors are just so perfect.
It's always different.
So you focus on other things, and that gets.
Yeah.
But you work so hard right now because I know you're kind of running the show. Your parents own Sequoia. You're working there, which they're open for takeouts.
Yes.
So go there for takeouts. That's a lot. I know it's a lot of work running a restaurant, and you do a lot of it. Do you feel fatigued, or are you kind of normal now until after a surgery?
I get fatigued, yeah, I for sure, especially lately because it's been so long since my last surgery. It's kind of getting worse and worse as it goes. But everyone I work with, and luckily I do work for my parents, so they know my situation. So that does help, but it's definitely hard because I'll be trying and I'm like, oh, I can't. I just push my body kind of too far, so I have to step back a little, which is hard for me because I feel like I'm too old. Like, you know, I feel like I'm old when that happens. I'm like, I'm only 30, so definitely does a lot.
Can you eat and drink normal? I mean, do you get more sick than the average person? Like if you have a little too much to drink or something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you have to always kind of watch yourself all the time, huh?
Yeah, and because me, I kind of don't. Drinking was kind of my go-to, you know, forget about all the stuff and like all, you know, just forget everything.
You gotta watch your liver, though. That's one of the few things you have left.
For real though, I need to watch that. I'll take that next. But I have to, like, my hangovers, they're really, really bad. But it's like my own fault because I start
So the next day you feel
so the
bad.
next day, oh, it's so bad.
Do you try to have a good diet at least?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely will, you know, eat the candy and stuff like that, but with endometriosis, you do have to have a certain, like, there are certain foods, like spicy food really doesn't help at all.
Do you work out, or do you just get too fatigued you're not really into working out?
I do. I'll just, like, stuff at home.
Does that
I like
help
to go
you
for
feel better?
walks. Yeah. There's certain things, though, I can't, you know, move
Like
certain
sit-ups?
legs will hurt. That hurts a little bit. Planks aren't too bad, but I know sit-ups are worse. I don't think it's just probably the motion of doing that. But planks aren't too bad. But it's definitely slowed down, like, my work, like, definitely slowed it down because it hurts after a while. I'm just sore, like not the normal sore. Like after workout, it's like way worse. So kind of sucks. But
so you have an Instagram. You're gonna start activating your Facebook and make it more because
Yes.
I think it would be great to start a support group and really let us know. I mean, you've educated me so much on all of this, and I think it's just something we need to be aware of.
Yeah,
since
for
it's
sure.
The awareness month.
Yeah.
So keep us aware
will.
on social media if you
I
can.
will, for sure.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
Amanda.
for having
We're
me.
glad that you're
Thank
here.
you.
We're glad you're alive, and
Thank
you're
you.
so beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks.
Wondering why you aren't here. When did it break? When did it shadow away? Disintegrate? When did it break?
Welcome to Central Valley Talk, the coronavirus fun and food headquarters. If you're hunkered in your bunker, hungry and need to eat, there's an option for food in Fresno's Tower District. Bobby Salazar's is standing by with individual meals or a pre-cooked meal that will keep you fed for days. Keep it in your freezer and heat it as you need it. Bobby Salazar's is located at 725 East Olive at Broadway. Call them up, place your order, then pick it up. Call Bobby Salazar's at 497-9920. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District, 497-9920.
When you need to get fit, contact Gary Torres, IFBB Pro, specializing in weight loss, body transformations, and contest prep. Email GaryTorres5336 at yahoo.com.